Yeah, mad motherfuckers on me, and mad shorties tryna zone me.
So, random white guy takes to Facebook with a stab wound saying, hey, I was stabbed for looking like a Nazi for my Nazi haircut. To keep it a sec with you, I already knew it was fake. Just read it. It contradicts itself right away. So, apparently I look like a neo-Nazi and got stabbed for it. Okay, so you knew you got stabbed because you look like a neo-Nazi. But then, 2 lines later, you say, please keep in mind there was no conversation between me and this dude. I was literally just getting out of my car. So how did you know that it was because you look like a neo-Nazi if the guy didn't say anything to you? He just randomly walked up to you and stabbed you. There was no conversation. There was no yelling. He didn't say, you fucking Nazi. Hey, man, are you a Nazi? Is that one of those Nazi haircuts? No, you just said he walked up to you. There was no conversation. And he stabbed you. I remember putting this in a group and people were saying, hey, it looks real. I'm like, yeah, the stab wound itself looks real. I'm just saying that the narrative behind it is falsified. You could get stabbed for any reason. That could be a fucking Google pic for all I know. That could be anyone's hand. How do I know that that's his hand in the first place? Skeptics are always skeptics until it comes to talking shit about Antifa. Of course, when I said that Adam Saleh was bullshitting and that he was a faker faking a Muslim attack, everyone was on board. But with this, everyone was just like, no, Antifa goes around just randomly, casually stabbing people in the most casual situations like in a parking lot. Which that doesn't happen. Yes, Antifa uses violence for political means. They do it during counter-protests against political opponents. They don't randomly go up to strangers in the street and stab them for looking like neo-Nazis. What the fuck does a neo-Nazi look like? That's like one of those straw men about leftists that skeptics love to come up with saying, oh, well, everyone you disagree with must be a Nazi, right? Everyone's a Nazi if they're not a leftist. No one's fucking randomly going up to strangers, stabbing them in the street for looking like a Nazi. This is like Fuckboy Haircut 2016. So first of all, get with the times. Well, I gotta get with the time because I'm still rocking the fucking 2015 soccer haircut. It was just a random viral photo that was just like, hey, look, Antifa did this because we say so. Where's the proof? Do you have any video of any of this shit going on? There was absolutely no witnesses. There was no kind of secondary documentation as to this, like you were just alone in the parking lot completely. Oh, but he wasn't. Because when BuzzFeed actually contacted the police in Sheridan, Colorado, who confirmed that Witt actually stabbed himself, top of that originally told the police that his attacker was a black male in his mid-20s. Sound familiar? Yeah, this is something that happens over and over and over again. And hey, if somebody mistaked him for a Nazi, he probably was an actual fucking Nazi if you're going around randomly accusing black males of stabbing you after you just accidentally stabbed yourself. The surveillance footage in the location of where he was stabbed didn't show anyone running from the scene. But what they did find was Witt buying a knife earlier on, literally minutes before the attack. This is a calculated setup from what looks like someone that would only do this if they were an actual fucking Nazi trying to create an agenda and getting a black guy locked up for no reason. Or a black guy killed. Because we all know how all of those fucking police shootings happen. Someone calls the police on a random innocent black guy minding his fucking business for suspicious behavior. Cops show up, shit gets escalated because they think that they're actually a threat, and nigga gets shot. Now the blame is placed all on just the police, or the blame is placed all on the guy where people say, oh, he should have complied with the law, while the person that called the police is just sitting there anonymously sipping their tea and shit while they got exactly what the fuck they wanted. He was booked for filing a false police report. He could be facing up to a year in jail just because he wanted to make some edgy-ass propagandic post on Facebook. Honestly, if he goes to jail, I hope he really does get fucking shanked. You might be saying that the shit is harsh, but this is the kind of shit that gets black people fucking killed. I mean, look at Khalif Browder, where police basically falsified a testimony by coercing a fucking 12-year-old into saying that he committed robbery. So he went to jail for something he didn't commit and wound up committing suicide after he came out even more fucked up than how he came in. Emmett Till, who was accused of like sexual harassment of some white woman that made the shit up. Her brother, and her husband admitted to making the shit up. And we got the most recent fucking fraud, Joey Salads, who was making all these fake pranks to demonize black people. And this shit has happened with OCK-TV and all these modern prankster and stupid motherfuckers that go around New York with an even more insidious form of racism, capitalizing off of race relations and going into the hood, either provoking black people or even hiring black people to just like act a fool on camera, to act out these fake pranks where they're aggressive, to show black people as this sort of fucking savage group of people with all these in the hood pranks, using black hypercriminalization to get on World Star. A staged act of black people destroying a Trump car, and tried to say that, hey, this is what happens when you leave a car out with Trump signs all over it in the middle of the hood, because black people just can't accept other different opinions, right? We're just so violent when we see Trump supporters. And if you have an All Lives Matter sign in the middle of the hood, someone will come and beat the shit out of you. As many Beckys and gentrifiers that come walking around in fucking Harlem and nothing happens to them, please. And this guy deserves to get actually fucking stabbed. And it would only be self-defense on our part as black people, because these guys are inciting state violence against innocent people. This was not some guy just being an asshole. This was not just some guy that really was craving attention. This was a guy that really plotted this shit. Went and bought a knife. Planned to do this shit. The alt-right has been making fake-ass Antifa dummy accounts to further push this idea that their free speech is being infringed upon. And for the skeptics out there, I would love to see who's going to be honest enough to actually fucking cover this shit. Because y'all love to cover all the fake Muslim attacks. Y'all love to cover when the Black Lives Matter students fake the whole swastikas and start writing that shit themselves and accusing Nazis of doing it. Rightly so, call out bullshit when it's bullshit. If someone's making up fucking lies, taking away from actual real victims, they should be called out. And the same standard should be applied to this actual Nazi that's going around falsely accusing black men of stabbing them. You guys see shit like this and it just appeases your confirmation bias that Antifa's just running around stabbing random motherfuckers in parking lots in the most casual situation, and don't even ask motherfuckers like this for proof, but have the nerve to praise people like Ben Shapiro for being all logical and rational and looking at the stats and the facts while simultaneously ignoring the stats and the facts. Anyway, I'm just here bitching, but I'm really glad that this guy got caught, honestly. Extremely satisfying, because I fucking knew it, and I was tired of all these people running around without proof saying that this shit actually fucking happened. So there you have it, a fucking faker. Hopefully this makes people question whatever they see on Facebook and random viral shit that they see online. Whether it's from leftists, whether it's from right-wingers, authoritarians, and libertarians altogether. Always constantly question everything, and if you get the proof, question the source as well. Eastside, Harlem reppin', TheAlmonteFilms.
I got bad motherfuckers on me, and bad shorties tryna zone me. I got shorties thinking they control me, and niggas thinking they can roll